So we're back to that time of year again when we're starting to think about sowing our summertime seeds. This video is purely based on the long season crops, things like your tomatoes, your peppers, aubergines, watermelon, and things like that, which is kind of what we want to sort of start early-ish and get underway. And so this is it's not really an instructional video as how to sow them. It's just a case of just showing you the varieties that we're going to be growing and just a couple of tips in when you're sowing your seeds. So I've got my trays here, 10 6-packs. I quite like the 6-packs that we kind of sort of use because they take up, they use the space efficiently, and you obviously get 6 plants into there, and they've got quite a nice sort of amount of roots, so you get a good sized plant. So generally this kind of size you can go from this straight out into the field without having to transplant up into a bigger pot and then go from there. So the 6-packs are quite nice. Again, I've mentioned in previous videos before that I plant them on they're in a big tray under here which keeps all the water in, and they're on a heat mat. Things like peppers and aubergines and all that kind of stuff, and watermelons, they want a little bit of heat from the bottom. So they're designed for propagation and for plants. They're designed to get water on them, so don't worry about electrocuting yourself. You'll be absolutely fine. So a couple of things that we're going to be growing this year. The Black Beauty aubergine, we've done that before. It's a nice variety. It does very well outside, and we seem to have plenty of them. Butternut squash, again, is another one. This is a save seed, and one tip I'd really encourage you to do is try and save your seeds from previous crops. Beefsteak tomato from last year as well. That wasn't grown by me, that was grown by a friend. He gave me some of the seeds. But again, sort of, think about saving seeds, because not only is it cheaper, it saves yourself some money and you get so many seeds from it. The seeds actually they hybridize slightly, so you'll actually get the next generation of plants that you grow, you'll actually get a better variety of plant suited to the conditions where you're growing it than you would otherwise from seeds bought from all over around the world. So I'd recommend saving your seeds because they do kind of make better plants each year. So sweet peppers, another one. The watermelon seed, you saw if you haven't seen the watermelon video on there, it's on the Go Tropical channel, and this was the seed saved from the first early ripening, the best, sweetest flavored watermelon that we had on that crop. We did get about 7 or 8 from 3 plants, so I saved the seeds. So hopefully these will do well this year as well. So I've got the watermelon. Another variety that we did grow but I didn't harvest in time was a honeydew melon. The ants got it. We were away and so I missed the thing. So I'm going to try those again. So we've got the honeydew melons. All the 3 varieties of tomato that I grew are on there: the Sunstream, the Indigo Rose, and the Acer Cherry. So nice varieties to use and to grow. Again, save seed. I haven't actually got a huge amount of these varieties in seed because I've had a number of people asking me for the seeds of this, and so I haven't got that many this year because I didn't particularly think I'd save enough to be able to send out. So what I'm going to do is for next season I will save more seeds. So if you're interested in these varieties, then let me know again at the end of this season and I can send you, and I'll save plenty of seeds. But this year I didn't save that many because I didn't think people would be that interested in growing them. So, and the other one, the bell peppers that we normally grow as well. But also what I have added to the mix is a friend who's got a plot across the way from me. He's from the Philippines, and he saved me some yellow flesh watermelon seeds. So we're going to be giving those a go as well. So nothing technical in planting these things. Tip of your finger, only go down to like the first knuckle. That's plenty deep enough. Just make your little divot holes. If you've got lumps in your compost, like sometimes you get little bark chippings, just remove those, lose those. This is just a standard compost mix, nothing special. You don't need anything kind of special with this sort of planting. Make lots of little holes. And this really is kind of the advantage of if you can have a greenhouse. it's certainly I don't know how people kind of manage to really garden without one. It does make life a bit difficult. So the building that we're in was actually, it was an old summer house, so it didn't have a clear roof, and all I did is I got some perspex, some polycarbonate perspex, took the roof off and put this on, put in a couple more windows in the side, and you can kind of do that with a shed. You know, any kind of building that you've got, just change the kind of the roofing of it, you know, get some perspex, and it does absolutely fine. So rather than having to go out and buy yourself an expensive greenhouse, just get a few bits of clear plastic, stick it on the roof. This is an unheated greenhouse, so everything that survives in here just survives on just being frost free. So getting little seeds from the aubergines and just drop them into the hole. So this is the Black Beauty. Just stick about 2 seeds, 2 or 3 seeds per hole, depending on how many you've got. Because then what you'll do is you'll lose the weaker ones and keep the stronger ones. With growing plants, a little goes a long way. So you'll have plenty of seeds. And as you go, remember to label them. Otherwise you'll have no idea what it is when it comes to later on in the season. So, Black Beauty Aubergine. Like that. Just a little tag or a picture. You can do a drawing if you like, if you're arty that way. Okay, so that's the Sunstream, the Indigo Rose, Ace Cherry. And this is the seed for the yellow watermelon, which will certainly be interesting to see how that compares with the red. Not just with taste, but just growing and growing conditions. That's all our seeds in, so we're done. So we just cover them all up, just sprinkle a little bit of soil, smooth it all about, just cover up the seeds. This is kind of, you know, kid stuff, but it's an enjoyable part because it's sort of beginning the unknown again, and it kind of gets you in the frame of mind for growing, getting into the growing season. All right, once they're in, give them a drink. Give them a nice soaking so that the water runs all the way through. We've got the tray under here, remember, again, so it catches all the water that leaves. And that's it. So, first part of our growing season underway. We've got a honeydew melon, watermelons, red and yellow varieties. We've got our 3 or 4 tomatoes, the Ace or Cherry, Indigo Rose, Sunstream, and the beefsteak. And we've got our 2 peppers, the sweet and the bell pepper, the sweet being the long pointed one. And we've got our Black Beauty aubergines. So everything on the long season is now undergo and underway. So you kind of want to start thinking about that kind of now, so that as the season progresses, the plants are kind of on the way and going. What you also don't want to do is refrain from planting too early. The problem is when you plant too early, is actually it can be counterproductive, because you kind of want the whole process going from the seed to the plant to the field all to be a smooth transition. If you start seeds sometimes too early and the weather's not quite warm enough, you have to hold them back in the greenhouse for a bit longer, and that in itself can stunt the growth. They always want to be a continual growing. So when you stop and kind of hold the seed back in the pot because they're not ready to go out because of the weather, I mean, obviously unforeseen circumstances if you get bad weather, but generally don't sow too early, because you're not going to get any further ahead than actually sowing by middle to late March anyway, because the growing period will continue and they'll catch up with anything that way, and they'll produce better because you haven't stopped or stunted in the growth by leaving them in a pot longer than they need to be. So don't sow too early. The nice 6-packs are pretty useful, just any old normal compost. Heat mat, useful for getting them germinating and going. Remember to label them. And so try something different, see what you get. and experiment, push the boundaries in what you kind of grow normally, get out your comfort zone, and grow stuff that you eat or that you kind of have thought about eating, and try it. So this is Chris. Hope you're planting nicely up, and the weather is starting to look good again. The rain has stopped, so take care, and I'll speak to you all soon.